Lynn's group, Katie's group, or Jack's group?
Up to y'all. I opened last time, so floor's open to someone else if they want it.
Not me.
There's our answer, isn't it?
We'll see how Katie fares, I suppose.
And you?
I'm standing next to the big guy.
The big guy who teleported next to Morgiana.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're in this together.
You chose to come help me.
No, I'm getting out of this one.
It's fine. What? Oh, yay! My stream stuff is still working. Looks like it's working perfectly. Noise. All right. I love it when my stuff works. It's exciting. Okay. Where's my intro? There's my intro. Nope. Don't go back. Go back. Go on. There you are.
At this point, just memorize it, my dude.
One day. Hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. Today our storyteller is Corin, and we're going to be continuing the tale of Jumpchain RWBY Terminal Season. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. Corin, take it away.
Last time on RWBY Terminal Season, y'all kind of interacted with a few Grimm. You'd been separated, and as a result, you landed basically in one-on-one little arenas. Somehow, none of you ended up engaging in combat against any of them. I expected that from Katie. Katie wants to befriend anything and everything that is a monster, obviously. Lynn, violence is never her first answer. That Hunter chose not to commit violence is probably an operant of the fact that he was up against the Gospel himself, and probably, might have been a little dangerous. The fact that Jack chose diplomacy is...
You put something injured in front of him, you know how he is.
Yeah, if it's not interesting enough, he's just gonna leave it behind, I guess. So, there it was. Injured dude. Might as well move on. However, despite that, as you all went and progressed along, something happened. Aside from learning about group chats and whatever the B-movie and yogurt night are, you did end up having an interaction between Katie and the mother, where Katie had a lot of trouble understanding a lot of the big words that the mother was bandying about regarding what an apostasy is or what apostatic means, about the high concept idea of taking back a land for it having been stolen away and given out by some force of creator divinity. Who knows? Katie said she didn't understand, and then the mother said, this means war, and Katie was like, okay.
Used too many fancy words, Katie couldn't quite figure out what she was talking about.
Yeah, so...
It's okay.
As a result, everyone is now facing off against the Grimm that they were previously beside. In the case of Katie, that means she's fighting against Morgiana, who appears to use some sort of illusory techniques. Lynn faces off against Balor, who seems to be able to reshape themselves into this mist form and is able to create eyes as well as spikes of flesh that surge outwards. Any more than that, you haven't seen. Jack faces off against an enemy that is yet unnamed. Having previously just been rendered several limbs missing, it seems nonetheless capable of combat, as now Jack and it are both descending quickly from a high-altitude drop, making Jack suddenly have not quite a series of flashbacks, but definitely recollections towards high-altitude drops that he had gone through in his previous wartime affairs in his life. However, as it was requested that neither Lynn nor Jack go first this round, we'll be opening up with Katie, Hunter, Matarael the Gospel, these three against Morgiana. When last we left out, Matarael had just teleported in, bringing Hunter with, having brought his hands together and suddenly finding himself in this new area, and able to launch a single strong attack against Morgiana, knocking it back considerably before Morgiana disappeared in some sort of illusory display, no longer able to be seen. And that is the area in which you are, Katie and Hunter. If you would like to start by rolling your speed in order to represent your initiative.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, faster.
Katie rolls 1 degree of
Sonic
success.
X.
Best song.
Hunter is moving.
I'm singing that.
Hunter's schmoving out there. Let's see, and let me go check what I listed as Matarael's stats and Morgiana's stats.
Hunter's
Having this across
adapting.
3 different servers.
Clever girl.
Okay, well, Morgiana is not rolling high. I will be using this weird blob of red in order to represent Morgiana, and I will be using Kaiju number 8 Swordsman monster as a representation of Matarael. Matarael having rolled 0, -1 in the case there, 2 on the part of Hunter, and 1 on the part of Katie. So, with all of that set up, it is clear that Hunter will be taking the first move. Do note that you are unable to see your target at this time.
Oh, that's kind of annoying. I'll look at Lynn, assuming that she is...
Lynn is not currently in the area.
Oh, is she not?
No,
No.
Lynn and Balor are currently approaching the area, but they have not yet arrived. So they are still separate, at least as of this round of combat.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to think of a song for like "On My Way." I literally couldn't think of anything.
On
Making my way downtown.
Oh gosh, I could have said that.
Yeah.
There's another one but I can't think of it at the moment. So, what's around me at the moment is basically nothing.
You can see that beside you is definitely Katie and Matarael. You can see where Morgiana was, but Morgiana is also capable of what seems to be some sort of limited flight, or at least hovering, and is not directly interacting with the ground. It is likely that Morgiana has moved out of the specific area where it had landed after the attack, meaning that it's probably near where it ended up landing, but it's hard to tell exactly where when you can't track it by footsteps or jostling of debris, at least on the ground.
Fair. So I'm probably gonna look at Katie. Does she look? She looks dinged up, right? Because she was mentally injured, psychically injured last time.
She was hit with a psychic attack. Overall, she doesn't look physically harmed. She just looks a bit distracted. However, considering the fact that she was just in an entire mental conversation with the primary enemy, it's hard to tell whether or not it's because of an attack or not. But as I recall, Katie was on the video call when she was hit with a psychic attack, meaning that you know that there's something going on.
Okay. In that case, I'm probably going to pull out my my gun, probably dig into the ground, and then essentially just hold my action to fire if I see it pop up.
Okay, so then you're holding your action, and the trigger is visual perception of Morgiana. Or I'm going to also assume in addition to seeing Morgiana, it's also seeing evidence of Morgiana, such as seeing things like rocks get tossed out.
As a bonus action, real quick, I'm actually going to pop up a bunch of different little light spheres around me, essentially making it so that if something bends the light weirdly, I might be able to see it. Like, if something, like, curves weirdly, or if there's, like, a weird mist that goes through or something, I'll probably be able to notice in reference to my little light spheres.
Is the light functioning as, like, a light being cast, or is it a solid?
I would probably say they're, like, solid little balls, or maybe, I guess, like, probably more like panes, like, squares that are just like kind of hovering around.
Okay, so they are solid panes, and if someone bumped into them, it would basically bump them around and move them?
Yeah, and if like there's a mist that goes by, obviously it would change my perception of how I'm seeing the thing.
I'm going to have you roll 3d6 for your semblance in order to represent how successful you are with setting these up.
Okay.
So that is a critical failure.
Beautiful.
Wow.
It's not quite as good as.
To be fair, I believe
it just
that is a-
shatters
that-
in my
That is a
eyeballs.
1 in 216 chance.
We've seen it before. We've seen this. What are you talking
Yeah.
I saw
about?
it with 4 dice.
I know.
Yeah,
Starting
so-
strong. Starting strong, guys.
Starting strong. So,
I started with 2 6s, so
so
I've done 2 of a ridiculous rolls now. Here we go.
as you attempt to utilize your semblance in order to create the panes of glass, they end up manifesting in the air. And you're fairly confident it worked. They are now set up so that if something bumped into it, it would move them around and alert you.
That's mean.
Cool.
You're
Yeah.
giving it false confidence.
I-
That's so mean.
I feel scared.
With
I'm
your action
intimidated.
held, I'm going to have Katie's turn now progress.
Okay. All right. So basically, Morgie's like gone. I want to try and find her. Can I use my abyssal cuties to like see if I can see where she is?
Absolutely.
Or, like,
Go ahead and
yeah.
roll 3d6 for your abyssal cuties to see if you can sense her.
Yeah, because like there's like some sort of link like with the psychic stuffs. So
well,
I don't know.
Abyssal
Oh,
cuties.
God.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Okay, what is today?
It started
It's
off
not a
so
critical
strong
failure,
too.
you reach out in order to try to interact with Morgiana, and what you can feel is that there's definitely psionic movements nearby. You'd say probably about 15 feet away from its original landing point after having been struck by Matarael.
Mhm.
Do you designate that as a targeted location of where it is located?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
If there's some sort of psychic thing, then it's probably something about.
Okay.
Uh,
Then you alert your party.
Yeah, just be like, I sense psychic something or other over there. I think there might be something over there. Probably Marky.
Hunter, do you
Oh,
qualify
okay.
that as a trigger since
Nah,
it
yep.
is
He would be shooting without hesitation.
all right? Go ahead and roll your okay, that is a degree of success.
Oh no.
You're firing, and I'm going to have Katie. You're going to roll a speed.
Oh, no.
That is a
Okay.
degree of success. So that's 1-1. It's a tie. Katie and Hunter, because your rolls are competing against one another, and you tied on the success count. Oh, actually, Katie has the higher roll and the higher dice number. Katie, as the shot fires, you are, Hunter, one of your panes shatters as you realize that the positioning of your panes is incorrect. When you summoned them, you put them in the wrong locations, and rather than being able to be fully prescient and aware of that fact, you got distracted, and now that you fired into it, it detonates.
Oh.
Katie, you were able to roll high enough to be able to dodge the incoming shrapnel.
Red
You
guy.
take no damage.
Oh, careful there.
Dun, dun, tsh. Whoops.
With a critical success,
Jesus
you
Christ.
watch as the shards all slam into Matarael's body,
Oh.
but the only ones that even leave a single mark on it, because this is his endurance roll, the only ones that leave any form of marks are the ones that hit already open wounds, and even then, the glass proceeds to then break against the sinew and muscle underneath the broken skin. He seems to pay no mind whatsoever to it, taking no damage whatsoever. It sets in this moment that fighting Matarael would definitely be an entire team effort.
Wreck yourself before you wreck yourself, my guy.
Okay.
I
that was
did check it.
So, Katie, you've designated the thing, but you haven't made a primary action, such as an attack or things like that. You've only used a secondary action, your semblance. Would you like to use a primary action or defer it or anything like that?
I think I'm just gonna like pull out my guns and like try to like wait for Morgie to show up as I'm just like, Morgie, I don't want to hurt you. We were besties.
Okay,
Don't
so
listen to your mom.
you're holding your primary action with the same trigger that Hunter had?
Yeah, but Hopefully better this time.
Here's hoping. It is now Matarael's turn, as he ends up standing up particularly tall and relaxing a fair bit. His eyes shut as he seems to just breathe. 3d6.
Wow.
It can't keep happening like this.
He breathed wrong and he choked.
Yeah. He takes a
It
slow,
just
deep
starts
breath.
choking on his own spittle of whatever sort of spill it has.
His sense check, critical, fails. He looks. His eyes open back up as he looks perplexed. To the left, to the right. He forfeits his entire action this turn as he has no clue what he's attempting to sense. He's not sure how to progress. His whole turn's gone. And this is Morgiana's turn.
Wow.
Poor dude.
Roll some dice menacingly.
Hunter,
Is
it's
that
your
like a
turn.
custom thing? Is that like a custom thing? Can you
No, I
change that?
type it out every time.
Although you could turn that into a.
Oh.
I could, but then I couldn't make minor changes to the wording every time.
That's true.
Wait, have
example-
you been making minor changes this entire time?
Yeah, sometimes I state that I'm rolling it in the background.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't
But
know that.
yeah. But just like my minor changes have gone unnoticed, so too does Morgiana end up going unnoticed. Hunter's turn begins.
All right. Do I see it?
Roll sense.
Hey.
That is 1 degree of success
Mm.
versus 2 degrees of success.
Oh my god.
Morgiana, you are unable to see through Morgiana's illusions. However, you did not fail by such a wide margin that you're tricked into seeing it in a false location.
Nice.
You are confident in knowing that you do not know where it is.
How has Morgiana been more menacing in terms of dice than freaking Cammy?
Honestly,
Kamael.
sometimes it really just comes down to the luck of the draw. And Kamael strode in, loudly declaring he was the best of the best, and then rolled some unlucky dice. Morgiana swept in, hoped that diplomacy would work, watched it fail, and then didn't absolutely suck butts in the first 3 minutes. So it helps that Morgiana did not open up by saying, "Look at how great I am."
Yeah.
So I still have absolutely no idea where this thing is whatsoever.
That is correct.
So
You
I'm
could try
going
and
to
use your abilities or even your gun for some creative usage if you can think of a way in order to try to flush it out. It wouldn't be your first time
I don't know
trying
how
to...
how its effects work. So what I'm going to do is I want to focus on, I think, my my semblance. Using my overflowing aura, I want to essentially just like really ramp up my semblance, like create an absolute metric crap ton of these little balls of light and just fling them everywhere.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a 3d6 semblance roll.
Come on, bud, you can do it.
At a flat 0, you're able to summon several balls and spread them out. They're not as many as you'd like, and they're not as well formed as you would like, but there are balls in the air now.
Mm-hmm. I'm essentially just like, I'm just gonna keep producing them.
There are a limit to how many you can generate at a single time.
Yeah.
Normally, you'd be limited to just like 2 panes at a single point, but because you're making them in much smaller, simpler orbs that don't need to be super durable, you're probably able to make between 6 and 10 of them.
Okay, and that's including overflowing aura?
Overflowing aura, that's going to let you be able to like regenerate your aura a lot. You have a lot of aura. It helps as a benefit. In this case, the problem isn't a lack of aura. It's a lack of the kind of technical skill.
Okay.
Think of it as you have a lot of strength. You can bench a lot, but
Mhm.
that doesn't mean that you're good at origami.
That's fair. So yeah, I'm just creating them and kind of flinging them and seeing if anything happens to them.
Okay, let me go ahead and... Okay. Nothing immediately happens.
So
A
yeah,
lot of them are
I'm
just
just
floating in the
holding my turn until something happens to one of them.
Katie, it is your move again.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of like kneel down to the ground. One of my hands is still on my gun, as I like kind of put my hand to the ground, and I'm gonna create Grim. They're gonna be kind of like snakes, but their heads are gonna be like Venus flytraps.
Are you so firstly, do they have eyes?
Yes.
Secondly, can you see through the eyes of your own Grim?
I don't think I can. I don't know if that was like ever
That would definitely be something you'd have
established.
to Abyssal Cuties roll on, if you wanted to. I just wanted to check for the record.
If I can roll for that, I can.
If you'd like
You
to,
can
then
try.
absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Okay. 3. Okay,
That is a critical
triple
success.
Let's
Yeah.
fucking go.
Yeah, okay. It's just nonstop today. I don't know what's
Dice
going
is
on. I
whack
don't know
today,
what,
man.
whatever.
Good
when
job.
you spawn the snakes and see through their eyes, you are immediately able to see Morgiana. When you
Oh.
created a new thing, it seems that it wasn't under the effect of the illusions already.
Huh.
In other words, it seems that someone new is able to see.
Okay.
Shoot.
All right. So okay, would the Grim be my primary action or
No,
like
semblance rolls qualify as secondary actions unless they're like
Uh.
really insanely like difficult and would take up a significant amount of time on your turn. Creating Grim for you it's the same as creating the lights for Hunter, meaning that is a secondary.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess I'll just freaking just use like the gun that I was holding and just like ice shot her.
Okay, go ahead and do a ranged attack roll. Which, Dex, I think.
Next. Okay, it's 3. What are the rolls today?
they're swinging left, they are swinging right, and there is nothing going down the center. So your shot completely misses, going wide, which isn't too surprising since you're trying to look through the eyes of something that's at a completely different level. These snakes, having been created, came out of the ground, with about 3 inches away from the ground level, whereas you stand at, how tall is your character? 4'10", 4'11", 5 foot.
I know I established what her height was before.
You did. I don't remember it.
I think she was at the on the shorter side.
Well, I'm just going to assume you're under 5 foot. So there's
5
several
foot 2.
foot difference. 5
5 foot
5'2". Okay.
Yeah.
On the shorter end, you say, and it's practically my height. How dare you? So
I mean,
due to the height difference between the angle that your snakes see at and that you see at, your shots go wide, only serving to destroy several chunks of stone chunks of stone walls surrounding you. Pebbles spatter across the ground, and none of them deal enough damage that they would end up scratching up Morgiana. However, she's clearly quite put off by how close the shot kind of was, proceeding to then jump backwards and try to refocus on casting the illusions. But since it's not her turn, there's not yet a success there. That is your primary and secondary action. Do you relay the information on the location of the target to your team?
Yeah, I assume that like when I saw her, I was like, "Oh, flip, there she is!" Just freaking like surprise. Did like the
Super
shot.
miss.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will once again attempt to. Jesus.
It's Matarael's turn. Oh wait,
Oh.
no, you said you were holding your action.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mhm.
Thank you. Go ahead.
All right. Let's see. Anything good?
Make a sense roll though.
Oh, well, that's same my sense, so I'll just take that.
Okay, so that is 1 degree of success. The reason why is because Katie's shot went wide and missed,
Mhm.
meaning that you don't exactly know where Morgiana actually is. You just know very specifically where she should be. But with a sense roll like that, you're able to narrow it down a fair bit. You can make an attack roll against her, a ranged attack roll against her with no penalty.
I don't need a penalty.
Apparently, another shot goes wide. Rather than shooting to her right, like Katie did, you end up compensating for the shot. But swing too far left instead. No shots going down the middle. More chunks of stone end up spattering about. I'm going
Would
to
that
have
be
both
creating
of you roll.
dust?
I'm going to have both of you roll sense checks.
Alright. Sense check.
God
That's
damn.
perfectly neutral. Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's Matarael's turn. I have no idea what's going on here, but with
Come on,
he does
Maddie,
roll
save us all.
Shit, yo.
with 2 degrees of success, Matarael rapidly seems to focus down. With both of your shots having gone wide in either direction, it's not hard for him to figure out exactly where he needs to go. We're going to make a melee attack roll, which in this case is 1 degree of success against Morgiana, who is going to attempt to dodge. With a degree of failure, that is not a success. Surging forward, Matarael raises one of his massive fists and swings downwards, impacting heavily against the top of Morgiana's skull and slamming her down into the ground with an odd sound that sounds more like cracking porcelain than it does the crunching of biological matter.
Sheesh.
Morgiana ends up skittering off to the side, bouncing off the stone in a way. You're looking through the snakes. You can see Morgiana seems to impact not just against the ground, but also shove herself with psionic abilities to move out of the same spot so she can't be hit twice. Only your snakes are able to see her at this time. As the secondary action, Matarael will go forward as he brings his hands together and claps. And cool. Morgiana's turn begins. Her secondary action is to activate her ability, which in this case, for the illusions, 1 degree of success. Everyone roll a sense roll. That is a degree of success.
Ooh.
That is not.
Katie, you said you created 2 snakes with Venus head.
Yeah.
Okay. You're also going to be rolling 2 additional ones, 1 each. Each one is 1d6, specifically for your snakes.
Okay.
That is a degree of success
Alright.
for snake number 1, not snake number 2. Snake number 2 cannot see, nor can Hunter. Katie and snake number 1, however, both have clear vision.
Alright, okay.
Okay. That is 2 degrees of success. On the sense roll for Matarael, he is able to see. In addition, I'm going to activate his personal skill. That is +1. 3 degrees of success, that counts as a critical success. So,
Good lord. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, basically, Hunter and a snake are the only ones who can't see right now. Is the top of the next round. And
The top of the snakes?
no, it is the top
Oh.
of the round, as in
Mhm.
Oh,
We
I
have
thought
now
you said
returned back to
head.
the start of the round.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Zoned out. Someone. Yeah.
no problem. But before we can jump into Hunter's action, it is worth noting, Katie, with your successful sense roll, you do hear wing beats in the distance.
Oh.
Lynn, with your high senses, I would like you to roll a sense roll in order to pick up on the nearby conflict.
Let's do it.
I will also be rolling for... That's pretty
Hey.
good. I will also be rolling for Balor's Sense. With a degree of success, you are both able to tell that there is direct conflict ongoing. Balor seems to not mind much and continues flying in the direction of the conflict. Lynn, I assume that you're still going to follow through?
I am.
Okie doke. As you find yourself above the battlefield, you can spot all of your comrades, as well as an odd floating being that you recognize from the video call. That is Morgiana, one of the enemy Grimm. You are able to see it, as you have not been hit with the effects of the illusions at this time. I would like you to roll a speed to represent your initiative. And in this case, Balor only gets 2d6 for his speed, but he gets a 1.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Both of you rolled 1s. Okay, so I'm first going to add there. And you had 1 point less in the overall thing, so you will go right after him. I'll add you to the... Nope, that was a second of the same person. There we go. Add turn. Boop. Okay. Turn order has been set up for the coming round. Your current location, Lynn, is probably about 70 to 80 feet in the air above the battlefield, with Balor nearby as well. Hunter, you are unaware of the arrival of your teammate, but it is your turn.
Look at Katie and go, where is it?
Okay. Would you like to defer your primary action until after her turn so she's able to relay all that to you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much gonna hold my action until she tells me where to shoot, because she seems to have a better knowledge of its general location than I do. So I'm assuming that wherever she points me to will probably either hit it or it'll dodge. So.
Okay. Then would you like to use your secondary action for anything?
I have a lot of different balls out, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. I'm probably going to... Actually, I think I'm gonna do it so I'm gonna hold my action to not shoot, but instead, wherever she points to or wherever she directs me to, I'm going to throw all of the balls over there, essentially. And that's done with my turn.
Okay, then you are deferring your secondary action.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a primary action that you like? Since we're still in the test phases, I'm going to say that at least for the purposes for testing for now, you can only defer either one or the other, and the other one needs to either be forfeited or take place on the turn.
Okay. How much dust is in the area surrounding roughly where
Unfortunately,
she had pointed me to earlier?
That is the exact thing I had you roll a sense earlier on that you did fail to roll, so you're currently unsure on how to use that.
Okay, in that case, I saw where the angel slammed his fist down, yeah?
Yes. In fact, he's still in a very similar position, his fist only having lifted maybe a foot off the ground, as he seems ready to move again.
Okay, generally based on what I know of having watched many people get punched, I would follow the directory and just shoot there. Just hope for the
roll a
stars,
dex
basically.
Roll a dex there with a penalty that you take 2 dice off.
I only have 2 dice.
Okay, then in any case where you are reduced to 0 or fewer dice, you roll 1d6. On a 6, you still succeed. However, you do get a negative on 2s as well as 1s.
Oof.
So you can still take the shot. It's a bit hard. 4, you do miss by quite a wide margin. In the case of Katie, since we're now moving to your turn, since your secondary action was deferred, Katie, you're able to tell why he missed. He did shoot in a pretty reasonable location in order to be able to target a specific spot that would make sense. But Morgiana did not just bounce normally. Morgiana used her psychic abilities to push herself even further, to put distance between herself and Matarael. Hence why trying to use standard physics predictions, like you might use for hunting a beast that had been struck, would not work. Hence the 2-point penalty. You're trying to use physics that didn't apply.
Yeah, just like say, yeah, sorry, red guy. She kind of used magic physics. So she jumped a little bit more than that. Here, let me I'm trying to shoot her.
Okay.
With the
So
with another ice shot.
you designate the location of the target.
Yeah.
Okay, that triggers the hunter's ability. Go ahead and roll 3d6 for your semblance.
Okay, just kind of throwing all the ones I've already made over there.
You are
Okay.
throwing the ones.
You do have an advantage here, so I'm gonna allow you to re-roll that one.
Oh,
Or
sweet.
you can add an extra dice, but I would recommend re-rolling that one.
Yay!
Hey,
There we go. You just went from a
Ooh.
-1 to a +1.
nice.
As the balls surge outwards, your first thought is to aim them based on a pretty logical series of events. But then it clicks that the logic you tried to apply a minute ago did not work. So you compensate. And in that compensation, you're able to course correct enough that several of the balls do impact against Morgiana's body. They're solid orbs. They're not able to move at a high enough speed in order to deal a lot of damage, but more notably, as they impact against her, they stick. And you have basically turned Morgiana into a bright, glowing beacon.
I'll look at Katie and go, shoot the ones that are surrounding it.
Katie, you will gain either a reroll or an additional dice on your next one.
All right.
Your ranged attack.
Basically, just put a shit ton of landmines next to it.
Yes. You will not only do you have the additional dice, you will also pass on a 0 as a result of the fact that you're shooting landmines. There's a cluster of them.
Good job.
All right.
I'll be honest,
okay.
it'd be kind of hard to miss this.
That's
It can happen.
4 decks. All right. Boop.
Okie doke.
Wow.
That is a positive score. You pass on 0s anyway. As you shoot in now you previously said you fired an ice shot. Are you using the same gun or are you using a different gun loaded with a different material? Because I know you have 2.
To shoot the landmines? I'm probably gonna use Senor Nyarlathotep with my rapid fire machine gun technique.
Okie doke. With a machine gun being fired into their rapid fire and a degree of success, rather than just hitting one of the landmines, the spray ends up hitting several of them, as well as impacting against Morgiana's body herself. The explosions go off, and I'm going to say that due to her particular things, I'm going to have Katie, go ahead and roll me 3d6 for damage.
Right.
Let's look at this damage.
10 points.
Very nice.
Morgiana not only takes a considerable amount of damage from the sprayed shots and the explosions, but the previous hits from Matarael have also clearly done a number on her. You would say that she's probably reduced to approximately 25% health, if not lower.
Sorry, Morgie. The machine gun technique never fails.
It is now Balor's turn. Balor's eyes seem to shift towards Lynn for a moment, but it's pieced together what's going on. It seems that you've brought it to a battlefield where your allies are located in order to slant the battle. And as a result, it is going to try to slant the battle in its favor. It is surging down rapidly towards the battlefield and aiming for the one who's clearly doing a considerable amount of damage, and the one that, is a lot easier to damage, considering Matarael's resilience. Katie, I'm going to have you roll a speed roll in order to dodge.
Speed roll.
Okay. And so, I'm going to have, going forward, I think I'm going to have penalties work the same way as bonus dice. In this case, instead of removing one of your dice, it's either going to be I either A, remove one, or B, make you re-roll one. The chances of this making a failure is pretty low, but please re-roll that second of your dice. Yeah, that was even better.
Yay, Katie!
Katie, your Grim senses are tingling. And
Ooh.
while a part of you says that it really wants to give you a hug, you're in the middle of a combat situation, and getting hugs from rapidly approaching Grim is probably not what's best for the immediate health and well-being, meaning that you have the choice on whether or not you would like to take the hits or dodge.
Do you want a hug?
It's Katie. I can't disqualify the option.
Okay, so how is it? Is it like? I'm trying to figure out how exactly it's like approaching. Because I might.
According to your senses, a Grim is very rapidly approaching you at very high velocity.
Can I? What was it? The super Healy thing, where I like Healy really fast.
Oh, the rocket boots.
Oh. Yeah, you could activate the rocket boots.
Can I tackle it back?
Oh my god.
I don't know how that works in terms of physics.
So, I'm going to say that yes, you can tackle it back. Due to your training with Dance Breaker, you auto pass on movement techniques used to traverse difficult terrain while using your Heelys. And I think this counts. So, yeah, you two will make conflicting melee attack rolls against one another. Go ahead and make a strength roll.
You can
Strength
do it.
roll. That's a good 1 dice.
Oh no. It just gotta fail. It just has to fail. Uh-oh.
Dang.
It did not fail.
That's
The two of
okay.
you will impact against each other quite hard. However, what you weren't expecting was that this being that you tackled into is not entirely solid. Not so normally you'd be taking the points of damage for the direct hit. A very high velocity impact from a heavy, probably an additional, and I'm going to add an extra 2 points of damage just because, according to physics, if something hits you moving at 30 miles an hour, that's basically a 30-mile-an-hour impact. If it's moving 30 miles an hour and you're moving 30 miles an hour towards it, that's a 60-mile-an-hour impact. Unfortunately, your hug does appear to have backfired.
Ah, darn. Not my combat hug. To be fair, I don't think Katie ever really learned physics.
Oh, thank goodness, that's
math.
a low number.
With
Oh.
8 points of damage from the impact, you feel not only are you struck, but you are also portions of your skin, around the skin level, as well as a good chunk of your lab coat, are perforated, even more so than previously, due to the creature that has crashed into you, making itself into a spiky orb on impact.
Is
Thank
Danger
God she
Noodle
has
okay?
as much endurance as I do.
Go ahead and
Oh, yeah,
roll
I have
me
a lot of-
2d6 for Danger Noodle.
No, Danger Noodle.
Danger Noodle is not.
Oh yeah, you don't you have like 2 Grim in your? You have the bird too, don't you?
No,
Bird's
the
back
bird
home.
was outside. In fact, the bird was outside of it before the teleportation, so you genuinely do not know where Birdie is.
Oh. Birdie's in the warehouse, isn't he?
Nope, you left the goose there.
Oh, wasn't Birdie there too?
The birdie was outside of your outfit when the clap took place that sent
Oh.
everyone in different locations.
Huh.
Oh.
Danger
That
Noodle.
bird.
Danger Noodle is going to take, in this case, it's just going to be the plain 2d6 instead of the buffed stuff. 7 points of
Danger
damage.
Noodle.
Danger Noodle is hurt bad because Danger Noodle does not have a player character's 30 HP.
Oh no. Oh no.
Danger
No.
Noodle is not as stubborn as Katie.
My special little guy.
So with Danger Noodle now being the noodle in danger, we now move on to Lynn's turn, as you watch Balor having just done a full nosedive right into a heavy impact against Katie. And Katie letting out a very distressed noise.
I'm not in the illusion yet, right? So can I see them?
That is
Everyone?
correct. You are fully capable of seeing Morgiana.
Are there any more landmines that haven't been blown up yet?
No, because Hunter did state that he was sending all of them towards her, and due to the proximity, they all went off.
Okay. Can I try to use my gravity to ball the thing up and launch it towards Matael?
So basically, use your gravity to forcibly shunt Morgiana towards Matarael.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make me a 3d6 as your secondary action.
Oh, nice. And is this a +1 for any combat rolls against monstrous creatures? Oh, is that the
Uh,
+3? I see. Okay.
Well, actually, no. You just have a 3d6 for your semblance. It's technically in combat. I wonder if I should. Yeah, I'm going to count this as a combat roll. Go ahead and make it a 4d6 if you like.
Yay! Oh, I almost cried. All right.
Yeah. Well, that is still a +1. That is still launching it towards Matarael. You do still have your primary action as well.
Can I still use gravity, or do I have to use something else?
You do have to do something else. Well, wait. No, because you didn't state that you were using both of your gravity wells, meaning that if you wanted to substitute your primary action for a second usage of your semblance, I would allow that. You do have another gravity well.
Okay. Can I fling the one Balor to the ground at Katie's feet to like prone it?
Balor is already
Mm.
basically occupying the exact same space as Katie to the point where the thorns making up his body are literally in her skin. I don't think that you have the level of control to pull them apart completely separately with your gravity, without affecting Katie. It would be like trying to gravitationally pull one person away from the other when they're hugging. You're gonna pull Katie with him.
I see. Here.
You could
Rexy
you could use
situation.
you could use the same logic that Katie's hug did and fling our angel guy at Morgana.
Put them together. You're like,
Double
oh, you wanted to join the
damage.
fray. You're like,
If you want,
Oh,
yeah.
shit, can I do that?
Matarael's turn is coming up next, and you are able to do that. You're already
That's
pulling
fine.
one in one direction. If you like, you can do another 3d6 roll. No,
I can call out first.
yeah,
If that
definitely
would
call.
help.
I'm just trying to figure out. I don't think Matarael qualifies as a monster. He's almost completely humanoid. It's just that he's really tall, wide, and like
It's not
porcelain
considered
skin.
So, yeah,
monstrous,
probably-
quote unquote. No.
Yeah, in the case of Matarael is very much a humanoid.
Oh, so he's yeah, okay. Well, that's okay.
You just scream, "Get some fist!"
It just sounds funny to me. All right, so I'm gonna call out to Mattel. Say, Mattel, we're on the same team. I'm gonna throw you towards your enemies, and I'm just gonna go.
throw you.
Okay, go ahead
And I'm gonna throw him in the same line that hits where the other one's coming in, also towards the same trajectory as the other one too.
Bob, throw me. Go ahead and roll 3d6 for your semblance again.
Let's go.
Hey.
That is a degree of success.
Let's go.
So, so firstly, he gets a bonus dice on his melee attack.
He going in
Or-
fast. They're gonna
Well,
kiss.
he specifically has a bonus. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to roll an additional d6. That's not
Come on,
great.
go.
He technically would. No, he gains 2 bonus dice, doesn't he? Because you're using both elements in order to move
Mhm.
him. Well, move them, I should say. It's plural. Come on.
Oh my god. It's the
More-
most
Okay.
more
awesome hit of all time. And he's just like, nah, I'm good.
Okay, well,
Are they not gonna hit each other just in the way?
the thing is, this is not like just him moving. So his fail state. So he doesn't exactly pass on 0. He doesn't technically land his full hits, but you do. Like your abilities, they're going to make them impact against each other. So as he lines up the shot and ends up overshooting, missing the target by a bit, he just lets himself go limp.
Oh.
He's like 8 or 9 feet tall. He is wide as a brick wall. Morgiana is very squishy, and all of like 3 feet tall. I'm going to say that this is 2d6, one for each of the sides of things, because even if it didn't hit, you functionally just slammed Morgiana against a brick wall.
Come on, please.
Eat the wall.
Oh my gosh, guys.
God.
At 5 points of damage, Morgiana is not dead, not defeated. Morgiana, however, is currently pinned underneath the body of Matarael, who is currently grasping it to prevent Morgiana from escaping.
You did it. Good job.
Now Morgiana is going to make a contested strength roll
Oh boy. Oh,
with a
boy.
critical success.
That's it.
Matarael does not lose the
Oh,
hold.
crap. Guys, let's not get grabbed by this dude.
Instead, Matarael just stands up, arms clearly holding Morgiana tightly in place, and just looks at the rest of the team. Morgiana loses her turn due to being incapacitated. Hunter, you can see the way he's holding it. It is a clear shot on Morgiana, but it's also a clear shot on the target currently attacking Katie.
I have absolute faith that this man can just rip its head off with ease. So, in Hunter's mind, this is like if a bear steps into a bear trap, or like a fox steps into a bear trap, versus a bear who's trying to eat a salmon. He's not going to care about the thing in the bear trap right now, because it's dead. So he's going to just turn and shoot the thing that is currently trying to eviscerate Colty.
Okay, so as a note, in this specific instance, due to the proximity of them, if you end your amount with a negative, you will hit Katie. 0 means you miss. Positive means that you hit normally.
She already got hurt, so...
So it is.
He's seen how durable she is.
Hunter, remember
It's
all
a
the times
danger
when you
noodle.
missed your shots?
No,
He is on so many occasions seen her tank crap that even he has difficulty with. So he's don't swing for the fences here.
think about it like this, Lynn. You miss every shot you don't take, and if a miss hurts Katie, doesn't that mean that he should still make the attempt?
Yeah,
Oh, thank
because if
goodness.
he
I thought
doesn't, then what would happen? Oh,
So
goodness.
there is a degree of success in that shot, meaning that you
Okay.
do land the hits. Go ahead and roll 1d6 for... What ammo are you using? I think you said that you were loaded with fire before.
Usually I'm loaded with fire because it seems to hurt the Grim more, yeah.
Okie doke.
Which might not be good
Oh,
there,
no.
but he's not really
Yeah.
thinking of
Well,
that at
The
the moment.
beginning
you're
of
not
this
thinking about
roll
that.
was
Okay.
foreshadowing.
Okay, so go ahead and roll 1d6. That is the amount of damage that will be taken by the enemy.
Ugh.
It will be halved to deal damage for Katie. So if you'd rolled a 6, for example, Katie would have taken 3 points of damage. In this case, you dealt 2 points of damage, and Katie, you only take 1 point of fire damage.
Red guy, I'm holding a baby.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I like, as she says, I look at her for a moment, and it just doesn't translate for him. He looks at the giant bird thing trying to ear, and he's trying desperately to contemplate how that's a baby. It's
Can I hold?
it's just not processing for him,
How
so he
does-
just
how
starts
does-
making more bombs.
Hold on. How does the fire is it just like?
It's a very high heat instant burst. You aren't like lit aflame or anything. It's just that you're at direct point of contact in an incredibly high heat environment, which is causing basically you know how when you open up the oven and your face is in the way, you get hit with that blast of hot air? Think that, but a lot hotter.
Okay, all right.
So in the case of it, Noodle takes 1 point of damage. Danger Noodle's not doing good, but this is not a lethal amount of damage. Hunter,
It's
you
not
do
as
still
bad as
have...
it could have been. Yeah.
Yes, you do still have a secondary action, Hunter, since you haven't used your semblance in this turn.
Yeah, he's just only making more bombs,
Orbs.
basically. Yeah, more orbs.
Okay. You're able to generate a good number of orbs, and that will take the rest of your turn. Katie, it is now your move.
Okay. You said something about thorns in Katie?
Yes. It is basically... It's made itself into barbed wire, basically, and is currently slashing you up.
Okay. All right. Am I like trapped or anything? Can I just get out of here?
In order to get out, you would need to make an opposed strength roll.
Okay.
You've basically gotten yourself grappled by tackling it.
Okay. All right. Is there a way to rocket myself out of here with the Heelys,
Do you
or
have a fire, something that spits fire that could, because it's kind of a formless thing. Do you have anything that could like burst it out from you?
I do. I have fire shots for my gun.
If you do shoot at basically point blank with a fire shot, with the purpose of knocking yourself out with the explosion, I will state that
Would that
you will
hurt Danger
succeed.
Noodle?
You'll succeed. For this, the ruling would be you would succeed on a 0. On a negative, you fail. If you succeed with a 0, you will take damage, as will Danger Noodle. On either a negative or a positive, you take no damage.
So it's either you do this or you try to fight it, but I don't know how much damage it does just regularly, and it might get you deeper if you don't, you know?
Okay. So, way back when I effectively wait. Okay, no, wait. Trying to figure out when I launched myself along. No, because that would get the other. Can't my gravity. My gravity. What I was. I don't know if I could figure out how to get that to work. Like a freaking. Hmm. I. Hmm. I'm thinking I can probably just. I don't want to use a strength roll. Katie is really bad at strength rolls.
Yeah, the one roll. Yeah.
I have 1 dice.
So there's the. Is the fire even an option or no?
Can I make a rope grim?
A rope.
A rope.
Um,
Or like a.
honestly,
it would be like a stick if I
yes.
had to make it.
You already have 2 rope grim next to you. They're just called nope ropes. Because you made snakes.
Okay. Can I elongate the sticks? I don't think they were terribly.
You could, technically speaking, you can't really elongate them, but what you can do is kind of have them merge into one bigger snake.
Okay.
And
That'll
that is
work.
longer.
Alright. I'd like to figure out a way to utilize the snakes in order to effectively pull me out. Kind of like a hook shot, but not quite as
Okay. Then
dramatic.
in that case, if you did that, you would be able to make the strength roll with a bonus dice or with a reroll lowest.
That works.
Yeah, it's better.
Hmm.
Am I next? Maybe I could also help pull you out.
The next person is the thing currently embedded in her body.
Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. I'll work with that. I can do that.
Okay, go
Thank
ahead and either. So go ahead and roll your strength first, and then we'll resolve the bonus dice.
Not
Cool.
good.
You can either roll an additional dice or re-roll. Hence
I'll
why.
just reroll.
There we
That
go.
works.
There.
That's
Yeah.
way better.
Yeah. Trying to pull yourself apart was a complete failed effort. It would absolutely have ended poorly on your part. You're 100% sure. But with the assistance of your 2 new pet noodles, they're able to bring themselves together in order to sharply pull you away. One end of the snakes latching on and biting into the almost hard granite-like structure of a nearby building. The other one wrapping around your leg and sharply pulling you away. Chunks of your outfit are further damaged, but fortunately, it doesn't seem to deal any actual harm to either you or Danger Noodle inside of your pocket, separating you entirely. Since you were utilizing your Grim rather than a raw strength check, this consumes your secondary action. You do still have a primary action, or you can attempt to use. You can substitute that for a secondary if you wanted to use Abyssal Cuties for something.
Yeah, mostly I just want to like move to a semi-safe distance so that I can heal Danger Noodle. Effectively, I am in drop everything, heal the noodle mode.
Okay. You don't have an amazing amount of experience when it comes to doing the healing, but it is possible.
Yeah.
I will say, go ahead and make me an Abyssal Cuties roll.
Okay.
Okay, good. And
Nice.
high speed movement comes much easier to you thanks to Dancebreaker's training with the Heelys. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to count that as basically a free action. You are able to do this in one turn. You are able to heal. Go ahead and roll 1d6 for how much the Danger Noodle is healed.
Yes.
Danger Noodle is doing a lot better. A lot better.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
good roll.
Yes. With that, that
Okay.
consumes your actions, and we move to the next target, Balor. Balor has a great many eyes, each and every one of them looking around the battlefield, getting ready to continue forward. But rather than doing anything perhaps expected, it surges out in a single shot. Let's see. So we're first going to roll his speed. Okay, that's not good. So then we're going to have to roll the dex.
Wow.
These are some confusing
Thank
rolls.
you.
-1. So that's -1 versus -1. But one person has higher. That's an 8 versus a 3. So the winner. Then the last thing I need to roll is. This is so weird. I'm not even sure how to narrate this scene now. Okay.
I believe in you.
So that halves damage if this rolls a 5 or a 4, 5, or 6.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
This is so confusing, but what basically just happened is that a shot surged out. And the first thing that was noted is that Matarael is not fast enough to be able to dodge out of the way, especially considering the fact that none of these attacks really seem to be much of a threat to him in the first place. So as the attack surges towards him and he attempts to move, it's a bit not quite enough. But so too is the speed of the attack not really enough either, also coming out to a -1 roll. It doesn't, since the target is currently restrained and thus treated as a prone target, the fact that it tied and then still overcame the original roll means it is a successful hit. But Morgiana's endurance, with a roll of 6, halves the incoming damage. But half of 6 is 3. And with only 2 health points having remained, Morgiana takes a lethal blow from Balor.
Oh.
And in that moment, as the skull of Morgiana is instantly punctured by Balor, a black haze erupts from the puncture point of Morgiana, and it is devoured. Or devoured is the wrong word. As a being already of haze and mist itself, Balor simply pulls away, the mist rapidly surging through the air and pulling towards it, even as the connection point is now broken. Similar to how you previously saw one of the Grimm devour another and gain strength, Balor has finished off Morgiana and has functionally consumed in order to gain greater strength.
Oh, it just kill stealed.
Yes, actually. Funnily enough, if Hunter had landed that shot on Morgiana, it couldn't have eaten her.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
All sorts of confusing interactions. Everything's
Isn't
confusing right
it
now.
being held by the big guy?
Yes, but the big guy's speed roll to avoid it was a -1.
Oh. The
You get why it was
hell's
so
going
confusing now?
on with these rolls today?
With all that set up, Balor rapidly absorbs it, and you can see a shape taking form inside of the haze.
Hmm.
A bloated skull similar to Morgiana's, but this one made of just the plain porcelain-like structure that always seems to make up the Grimm's bones. And from it, you can see that a lot of the haze solidifies and comes out of it in a shape more akin to a squid or an octopus, as it seems to take on a slightly more solid state. But you can tell from the roiling of its semi-fluids that whatever state it is, you could not just discreetly call it liquid or solid or gaseous. It seems to be either something entirely different or something that shifts and oscillates between them too fast. You face off against Balor now in a heightened form. But first, we're going to be switching over to Jackalope. I'm not going to let
thought
the
you were about
entire
to
session go. But I'm not going to complete this entire session without having Jackie then can follow up on what happened last time. That would be
I'm
villainous.
Free falling.
Yep.
So, You are rapidly descending. As I recall, you said you wanted to shoot him, and then you hit, and he slammed into some nearby rubble, but it didn't deal a significant amounts of damage due to his roll. He seems more intrigued, if anything, by what you just did to him and the behavior that you're displaying.
I mean, Jack could be laughing as he descends downwards further. He's gonna be absorbing the impact of the ground.
Okay. Roll 1d6 for the amount of energy that you absorb. As I recall, I think you have...
That was 68. My apologies. That is the wrong dice.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
At 5 points, I believe you already had one banked success, and this one will push you up to 2. You, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, you have 2 banked successes as you crash into the ground. I'm assuming it's a superhero landing.
No.
Oh,
More like a sloppy crash into the ground with giggles and not very professional looking.
okay. You appear to have contracted some form of madness.
Madness? No. Joy, jubilee, pissed off sense of remembrance. That's more accurate.
Jubilation at the concept of conflict. That itself is a form of madness.
Damn. You would love to see my home then. Ain't a single sane damn person there.
As
So,
the,
sugar wings.
Mhm.
So,
ahead.
sugar wings. Are we doing this or not?
It pulls itself away from the broken stone and as it seems to shift about. Tell me, would you be interested in fighting me at my full power?
Well, I'll flip a coin for it. It's more fun when things are based on chance rather than choice. Especially given I'm a little bored of this place. Heads or tails?
He shifts around a little bit as his wings turn into a set of 3 tails.
Shit, it's heads. Alright, looks like we're doing it here. That sucks. Oh well. Yes, I just
Shame.
pulled out an actual coin.
Hey, works for me. Yeah. He shrugs. So be it. I'd hoped the madness was a bit stronger in you, but...
Oh, please. It's not madness. If it was madness, then it wouldn't be fun. Madness has no rhyme or reason. It has no goals or aspirations. See, madness... If I went mad, I wouldn't be hearing the symphonies of war. I wouldn't keep saying. I wouldn't have lived. Seen a lot of mad people in my time. Good people, bad people. Murderers, psychopaths. Inventors, and richmen. Now, how about you stop playing games with me and show me the symphony that you can craft? As a grin, wide and exasperated to some degree, inches itself across Jackalop's face. Now show me the song you make.
I see. So be it, if that is your desire, madman. He pushes off of the large building that you had shot him into and lands as well. Though rather than landing with a heavy impact the way you did, each of the tails lash out sharply and seems to let out strong bursts of air towards the ground, softening the impact as it touches down.
Plus, I just let out a whole lot of negative emotions. We could wait, or, well, I guess we could have, but we're going to start anyway. So it becomes a game. A game I think will be fun. After all, Grim are attracted by negative emotion, and I just let out a whole heap of it. Smaller Grim will likely come. Maybe some big. I don't know. We'll see. You'll have a chance to power up throughout the fight. After all, it'd be boring if it wasn't chance.
I see. You may be mad, but you're not a fool. Seeing through my
survived.
plan like that is respectable.
I survived this long.
He shifts around, both of his tails waving in the air. So then, I suppose the question now becomes, which of us would like to make the first move?
I mean, I've already shot you.
That is true. He leans forward, his body reshaping into an almost vulpine form. 2 forelegs, 2 hind legs, and both of those tails still waving above and behind. The same white porcelain mask looking forward. But you do note there's something odd about the mask. Would you like to roll a sense?
Sure.
There's something familiar about it, but you can't quite place it. As it rolls its head around, it reshapes a good chunk of its body in order to start adding on antlers. They slowly creep out, and your previous experience makes something click. Considering how quickly it was able to change its form in flight or earlier, the slow methodical movements don't quite mesh. He's going slow on purpose.
You're buying time.
You mentioned they would come shortly, didn't you?
Probably.
Why wouldn't I want to?
At least we're being apparent.
I have no need for deceit.
It'd be boring if there was. Forward to the point. Apparent.
Yes.
At least you're not cold and calculating like some.
I am simply what I need to be.
A dog waiting to bark. A
A
hound.
hound with an opportunity to sink its fangs in.
You know, they called me something similar back in the day. Called a lot of us that. Hounds, dogs. Bitches is more accurate. Psychopaths. Tools. Show me what you are, tool. What song? So far, it is a sonata.
Allow me, then, to make it your dirge. Go ahead and make a speed roll.
Alright. Let me check my speed. I forget what my speed is.
Okie doke. And then... Actually, it just occurred to me. I usually make the offer because of your specific character. Speed or endurance, because you often choose specifically to endure attacks instead of just dodging.
Endure, and since I have the endure, the attack thing, let's see, what is it? Hiding strategy. Stubborn, no. I should be dead. Any form of damage, so it's a 3d6 instead of a 2.
Okay, that is a degree of success that we're going to be making against... See, right now it has 2d6 strength. You outroll it. As you tank the hit, you do end up enduring, so any damage from the attack, which is low, is immediately halved, and you're also going to roll a d6 to bank to build up your success. So that's going to be 1 point of damage, and you now have 4 more pips. What ends up happening is as he surges forward, one of the vulpine forelegs surges forward and elongates, stretching out in order to strike directly at your chest, going for a gouging slash. It doesn't seem that he anticipated you simply holding still for it. It doesn't do nearly as much damage as it should, especially with your own resistances and your aura protecting you. You feel stronger for it, though, as his turn ends.
Jack's just gonna grab that foreleg and pull him in for a headbutt.
Okie doke. As you pull him in, this time I do actually need a speed roll. That is a degree of success. So that means that you have enough speed to be able to recognize as you pull him in. As mentioned, He had 3 tails when he decided heads versus tails. He's only had 2 as he was standing there. The ground breaks underneath you, and you have the opportunity to either let him go and dodge away, or tank another hit.
I'll tank another hit.
Go ahead and roll endurance versus his strength. Oh my. Technically that's a tie, but your total numbers came out to 13 and it came out to 12, so that is actually your win.
Hot diggity damn.
Yeah, so as you take it, you once again will take half damage and get to roll your d6. A 1 halved goes down to 0. You take no damage and you get 6 pips.
Oh my god, dude.
The tail surges up, breaking the ground and slams into your stomach and does a pretty much jackal the jackalope, as it deals no damage, and there's no fear in the creature, but there is a moment of trepidation as it realizes that it may have made the wrong decision to engage in melee. You pulled it towards you. How do you plan on paying that off? With your 3 successes and 4 pips.
Just a normal headbutt.
Just a normal head. Okay, go ahead and make a strength roll. At a 0. You have it grabbed. So I'm going to say that's you can make a bonus roll. You can re-roll one of the ones or get another dice.
I'll re-roll one of the ones.
Cool.
Good lord.
With
that's a critical success.
The 1 drags it down from a 3 down to a
Oh,
2.
damn, you're right.
Yep. Which, is a shame, but it's still more than enough to deal damage as you pull it in and deal a heavy blow. Go ahead and roll me a d6 for damage here. 5 points.
Jesus Christ.
So
what the
you
fuck
deal some
heavy
damage as you slam your head into the surface of the mask, and you immediately see a flash, an image surge through your skull. And it's... Let's see. Yes, okay, so I don't think you saw it. I think it was... Yeah. An image appears of another Grim. One who's far more dragonic in nature, yet appears to be wearing scale mail. For whatever reason, this image that surges through you is what stands out. But you're only in contact for a moment, so you don't see anything else about whatever is going through the mask. I'm assuming that you don't let go.
Nope.
Cool. You are in melee. Technically, you would have a secondary action, but that would be something like moving around in your case, since yours is a triggered semblance instead of an active one. So move on to the other to the targets and the Grim. It is not a good position for the Grim to be in.
He rolled the dice and he rolled poor.
So roll strength.
Roll strength. So both of you rolled 1 degree of success, but you rolled a higher number, meaning that it tries to break away from your grasp, pulling away, but all it manages to do was stretch out its forelimb a little bit more. It doesn't manage to break your grasp, and pulling it back towards you again would be trivial. It immediately tries to bring its body down close to the ground, and making it low. It's harder to pull now as all 3 of its tails seem to surge into the ground before seemingly detaching from the main body. But that's all it's able to do on this turn.
Dragons. Is that what you are?
This mask is... You were able to see it.
What is it?
It is... Well... You know what? Beat me with an inch of my life. Then I'll tell you.
Okay. Jackalope's just gonna ring back his mechanical arm.
Okie doke. So with the fact that you're still in the position of attack, you're still holding onto the target, and it's still easy to pull them in. You get your bonus dice. As if you would like to do any of your bank successes, you are also able to do that.
I'll do 2, but I'll aim this at the ground.
Okay, well, your bonus dice means you can reroll that one. Okie doke. So that's good. Okay, so you have your. Oh, I sure hope that slamming wasn't anything important.
Rolling all those 2s is the exact same chances as rolling all of those 1s.
Yeah.
Smile.
So with that, you're now pushed over to +1, which then moves up to basically +3, which in this case it's because you're using bank successes, it doesn't quite count as a critical since you're not adjusting current dice.
Mm-hmm.
But it still means a hard hit. Let me go ahead and roll its endurance. At a 0, you can go ahead and roll 2d6 damage instead of just 1d6. At 7 points of damage, you do manage to deal some pretty hefty points. I believe it's currently at 12 points of damage. It's not doing so hot.
Yeah.
Lord.
And as a secondary action, just Jack's gonna, casually smile at it, holding its arm, and pull out 2 fire dust things. Let's see if I light on fire this time.
God.
You can feel it shudder a bit before it ultimately makes a tactical decision. In a moment, you are no longer going to be holding onto it because it detaches its own arm and leaps away, detaching at the joint. Let's see, I'm going to have you roll a speed roll. In the position that you're in, you could pretty easily pursue and try to close the distance again. See?
Oh, wow.
Yep, it finally outrolls you once as it leaps away and bounds away, pushing as best it can on only 3 limbs. It surges back up the building that it was previously slammed into, and then lets out not an attack, but a howl. Very, very loud, and it rings out across the entire area to the point where all the other players are able to hear the howl. It uses its entire turn to just focus on howling.
Okay. Okay. How is the building support looking?
It's looking not so great.
Would you say a building collapsing on Jackalope would be a willing success?
I
for
think that
banking.
yes. Since you're aiming at an already partially damaged building that isn't super great in supports, that's already been damaged by already having you throw something into the building with the force of explosives, I would say that all you need to do is 1 successful roll since you're using explosive rounds. That's it. Since you have a bank success, you basically pass on a 0 if you're willing to use it.
Oh, no, I was going to run into the building and collapse on top of myself.
Oh, then in that case, you can use a melee roll instead of a strength instead of a dex.
Yeah.
I think your strength is higher.
Yeah, actually, they're both 4.
Oh. Okay, yeah, you're just built for combat.
Yeah.
Built different. Created with alternative parameter. You rush in and you slam into what is clearly a load-bearing beam, and you are not the thing that breaks first. As you basically lariat it into shearing enough that it starts to collapse under its own weight, the entire building starts to fall all around you.
And
the Grim
I'm going to endure.
Okay, the Grim crashes to the ground. I'm going to have you roll an endurance. Do note, you're going to take the damage roll is 2d6, which means you will get 2d6 on your roll as well, but it does mean that you probably want to get a successful endurance roll.
All right, now would you consider this damage or no?
Yes, it is. You. Okay. So that is not a pass. So you will take the full undiluted 2d6 damage. Go ahead and roll your 2d6 for the absorbing.
Okay.
5 points.
So, let's see, 5.
You were at 4, so you're now currently at 3 pips and an additional success. You had 1, so you're now at 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 2.5 bank successes as the entire building just collapses. The howling rapidly ceases as it crashes down. Let me go ahead and roll for... You know what? I'm going to roll its luck. Just pure luck real quick. Okay, cool. It's also going to roll to endure. But it rolls really well on its endurance roll. As it crashes down to the ground, it immediately tries to scamper away and put distance between the two of you, as it's clear it's currently trying to delay as much as possible, save as much time as possible, before a piece of rubble crashes down onto its back, pinning it right to the ground. It takes no damage, but it hits center mass. It getting out of dodge is not looking so great. But at the same time, I'm going to have you roll a speed roll now. Because while you did endure, it does not look like you were fast enough to avoid a similar fate. The rubble crashes down and basically lands right on one of your legs. Not enough to deal a crippling amount of damage, but enough to deal an incredible amounts of pain and leave you stuck there for the 12 points of damage and basically immobilizing you the same way it's immobilized, as even more rubble crashes down between the two of you. So, I'm going to clip one. I don't know whose turn it would be after that. It's yours, Jack. It's your turn first.
I mean, Jack would just stand up as best he can.
Oh, you know, go ahead to make a strength roll. You do have a penalty, so we're going to re-roll one of those 5s.
Okay.
Okay, at a 0, you have an option. You can fail this and just go about as normal. Or you can succeed at this in exchange for basically tearing up your leg, getting you an additional roll, but also an additional d6 of pain.
Sure, I'll tear the leg up.
Cool. Go ahead and roll endurance, because you can have this damage. That is a 0, so it is not halved. It doesn't matter. You take 1 point of damage. Largely, it's surface level scratches that end up coming around. You can see some blood coming off of your leg, but all of the vast majority of the blood comes from the original impact, not from pulling yourself free. Closing the distance is not difficult. Scaling the pieces of rubble isn't hard, as it continues to try to pull itself free. Its turn also moves. Let's go ahead and see its roll. It is able to shake off the debris and pull itself free without taking damage, but it's now going to be a contested speed roll between the two of you. It barely wins out with a 0-0 as it starts rushing away. It's out of melee range, but you're not only a melee fighter. What would you like to do?
Explosive rounds.
Make a dex roll. It's not looking good for it. It's going to try to dodge, but it's going to need to roll 2 6s to do it, and it does not.
Jesus.
Actually, no, even 2 6s, it would have failed. Neat. So, as you shoot into its back, it's going to take an additional 1d6, 4 points of damage. It is practically on death's door at this point. You have beaten it within an inch of its life.
I think you've done more damage to yourself than it's done to you.
And Jack's just gonna casually walk up to it. The giggling and stuff has stopped, and it's just a cold, dead expression. It's the first real expression Jackalope's given anything, as he stares at this thing, casually loading his gun. You want to know the funny part about us? Well, me, I guess.
Feel free to elaborate.
On my world, they taught us everything to kill a person, including emotional regulation for sociopaths. I know how to show and give emotion without feeling a single damn thing myself. I know how to manipulate my brain into thinking that I'm feeling something. You were fun. but you're no warrior. He's gonna bend down, gun loaded. What is this dragon?
It is her first and final night. I had hoped he would arrive in time, but I suppose not. You are simply too effective as a killer.
Sadly, that's the only thing I'm good for. Jack's gonna unload in it.
Okie doke. This is a coup de grace. Automatic pass. The Grim turns to ash, or whatever that substance is that floats through the air like dust, disappears, completely destroyed.
God damn.
Jack's gonna give a very unsatisfied sigh for shoving out the shell, loading a new one in, and just walking off.
As you take the first step, you end up stepping on something specific. The only thing left behind, as Grim are not off to leave corpses, is the mask.
Jack will pick it up with his normal hand for once.
You pick it up, and it's brittle. It starts to dissolve as you touch it, but not without first showing you the image. Or more of a sequence of images, really. It shows Matarael, though you don't know his... I don't know if I said his name inside of the group. You weren't inside of the video. You might have the name of his name. I don't know. You see the gospel, and you can see that he's completely unharmed. Morgian, you can see assortments of Grim that have been engaging him in combat, and there is the Dragon Knight behind. There you see a series of attacks as the remainder of the Grim move, instead of trying to attack Matarael in their wounded state, instead just to assist the Knight. And you watch as the Knight lands several critical blows on Matarael. None of the other Grim were strong enough to be able to harm it, but the Knight is. The Knight is on the level of a gospel, it becomes clear. And as the remnants of that mask falls apart, it falls into place. The last desire of the Grim that you just killed was not to be saved by the Knight. It was hoping that the Knight would arrive, devour it, and use its gained power to kill the rest of you. It is the strongest of the Grim who currently walk on this area, and it is currently sworn under its mother's orders to fight against you. Perhaps that one will be a more satisfying battle than the nameless Grim that you took out.
A cold grin would come across Jack's face. Now you've intrigued me.
With that, we'll now pivot back to the group as everyone else is able to see that Balor has grown, rather than simply being Balor. It merges together its powers with Morgiana's, as it takes its form of an almost octopus-like state. It looks around, and it speaks, echoing inside of your own heads, as it says, "Is this the fair fight that you desired, Matarael?" The gospel seems to hesitate for a moment, looking between the group, and seems conflicted on whether or not it should join in the battle against the target. If Lynn, Hunter, or Katie would like to say some words to try and convince Matarael to basically team up to take on the opponents in a, to group up on them, that is 100% available. At the moment, he's hesitating because he does want to fight fair.
I mean, we're We come with our own handicaps. I think we could I think it would even out, you know. Red guy keeps trying to shoot me.
I'll have you know, I shot next to you.
You hurt the baby.
What baby? That thing was a giant flying creature.
I think you're thinking of Birdie. Danger Noodle doesn't fly.
Who's Danger Noodle?
My baby! I could like show off Danger Noodle.
Yeah,
When the hell did
Danger
you
Noodle's
get that?
hand.
Ages ago!
Huh.
So, Lynn, do you have any words that might sway Matarael into assisting you? Or would you rather he step back for the sake of honor?
Speak up and say, Katie did get hurt during the battle, but in the end, all of the Grimm either have to die or we find another solution. Whether we all defeat it or one of us steps out doesn't really matter. Mattel, I feel like we would appreciate your assistance, but I don't feel like we need to force you either.
If you are confident that you have the strength. Okay. Let's see. Is everyone comfortable with not requesting Matarael's assistance?
Hunter would probably just like look at him and go, I think 3 against 1 should be fine. And honestly, once Jack gets here, well, I feel sorry for it.
As you're trying to say the words sorry for it, you can hear in the distance a very loud howling, followed by the sounds of a collapsing building.
Looks like he's on his way.
Actually, I'm gonna look at Mateo and be like, actually, do you think you could speed up the process a bit and get Jack over here?
I don't know about that one. Jack's not gonna see him as a friendly. Yeah, that's not gonna work.
I'd rather Jack not jump over the hillside in the middle of the battle and start beating him up while we're fighting this guy.
I'd
That might
rather
get
us all
complicated.
stick together and then discuss when he gets here. Mattel, it would make it quicker if you do join us. But, you know, I'd rather you join us to make this go faster.
I just don't want Jack to start wrestling him while we're trying to kill this thing. Could make it complicated.
I mean, to be fair, I prefer Jack to fight him here when we're around instead of off-screen, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I think that too.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Then I will ask for each person's opinion. Do you wish for your friend to be brought here?
I do.
You laugh. Okay, wait. It's probably for the best.
I see.
Wait, for the best to bring him here, or for the best no?
To bring him here. Teamwork, right?
Matarael sits back, sitting in a crossed leg position as he brings his hands up. A slow, deep breath before they're brought together with a resounding clap. And a moment later, Jack, you are standing next to Lynn. Above you, as you get used to the surroundings from the sudden transportation, you do note the moon isn't just full. It is very much turning scarlet.
Ah, there you are, Jack.
Jackie!
I'm assuming the building was your doing?
Jack's just gonna look around, look at them. The hell was that?
Oh, yeah, Angel guy can teleport people. We didn't want you to start trying to kill him while we were in the middle of a battle. It's a whole thing. That guy wants to kill us. He's not pointing to the Grim, and he ate Katie's opponent, friend, companion, creepy thing that you carry around with you because you're a psychopath. Whatever it was to her.
My companion strayed from the path.
Sure.
Oh, okay, and...
Anyways,
So
it
you-
ate that thing, so it's now more powerful, and so we won't kill it.
Balor
Okay, go
looks across the assembled group of 4, seems to think for a moment before saying, I see. Fighting against you in this moment would be self-terminatory.
How about you go get eaten by the Dragon Rider?
The what?
Matarael immediately perks up and pretty much starts getting to his feet. Strengthening that one is not advisable.
You want a fair fight? So why'd you teleport me then?
Honestly, I
Because
just
we
want to make
like
sure you weren't going
you.
to fight while we were fighting.
No, I'm talking the whole teleport thing.
I wanted to fight as fair as is possible in this scenario. I do
Okay.
not suggest giving greater strength to the strongest of their forces. It is inadvisable.
And you currently won't fight with us because you don't think it's fair.
If you believe you need the assistance, I will provide it. But if you believe that you are capable of this without assistance, then there is no need for me to assist. Give the word and I will help you slay the Grim. But that is very different from strengthening the Dragon Knight.
The hell
It's
is this
because-
Dragon Knight bullshit you're all talking about?
He points at all of the Gospel's injuries. The thing that hurt him.
Oh,
Look, I'm coming from a very disappointing fight. Oh, so I hurt my leg. So if you guys can kill this thing without me while I heal up for a few minutes, good on you. If you need my assistance, let me know.
Can I have a dragon?
no.
I want to ride a dragon.
No.
Aww.
Anyway, Jackalope
you-
like stretches. If you need me, I'm gonna go sit by the gospel dude, and if he doesn't stab me in the throat, I'm gonna take a quick nap.
Alright.
I have
If-
no
Remind me-
qualm with humans.
Mhm.
See, I told you that. Now we
Who
don't
are
have
you
to
on?
worry.
He's gonna look at it, raise his eyebrow, and going, "Do you dislike or like the clown?"
I find a considerable number of his actions and behaviors to be disagreeable.
Then
He
we
hates
do
the
not have
clown.
qualms currently. To be fair, he did turn a bunch of people into literal human balls of meat that were alive. Not a good way to die. I'm gonna take a nap next to him, just in case something tries to bite me in the throat, so that I can regen this leg.
It's a smart plan.
Balor nods. It is a good idea. My suggestion is that you continue to rest up and prepare yourself. After all, you will need the assistance.
Kind of swing my gun into the ground again, kind of locking into place. I'm like, all right. So, Katie, are you going to be the one in front, or?
Oh, Katie, go ahead and roll 3d6 for Missile Cuties real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus.
2 degrees of success. You're picking up on it very quickly. Balor has split itself up and is currently fleeing.
Okay.
It's a decoy in front of you.
Bally's running away. That's a decoy. Maddie, I point to Atara. I'll remind me to talk about lore with you later. I'm heading out, healing
Lore.
towards the real Balor, or the other Balor that's running.
The decoy octopus immediately surges out its limbs to block
You
your path.
suck.
Look, come on. It was right there.
It's right that you suck.
I love decoy octopuses. They're just so great.
You said it, and my brain went, "Oh yeah, no."
Yeah, that's why he's an octopus. As he
Alright.
swings down, it's despite being a decoy, he's not entirely toothless. If anything, that's the only thing that an octopus really has.
Can I shunt him off? Can I just shunt him off into a wall somewhere?
You can certainly try. At the moment, he's a bit dug in, but if you roll 3d6, it's possible.
Monstrous.
Just launch him into the air.
Yeah, this
so
is definitely
46.
monstrous.
46. Let's go. Get out of here. Get out of here, bro. Oh no.
Oh,
At -1, you try to shunt him, but he has too many limbs holding onto the ground, stabilizing him far too well to be able to get pulled like that.
can I potentially help by shooting it in the face?
You know, go ahead, make a ranged attack roll, and if it's a
Alright.
successful hit, then yeah,
Hey,
that is a successful hit. Lynn, you can go ahead and re-roll one of your ones,
Yay. Oh please.
as long as it's a 5 or a 6.
Oh.
It's not. You're not able to launch it off to the side. Hunter, you do land a direct shot with, you mentioned fire rounds, so go ahead and deal 1d6 plus 3.
hey.
Nice. At 6 points, a good chunk of its head lights up in flames as it seems to still keep itself steady, trying to block the way.
All
Come
right.
now. It's not going to be that. Then he suddenly pauses and looks up to the sky. Oh. Oh. Well, this is inconvenient, isn't it? The decoy starts rapidly beginning to decay, chunks of it falling apart. I did not find the night. What a shame. My core self is screaming. Ah, the hunter. With the knife. I see how it is.
Honey?
Oh, it's honey.
It slumps forward and clearly looks unable to continue as it continues to die out. The hunter from the other land, with the twisted knife, has terminated the original self. But rejoice. There, the last of the grim is slain. All that is left is the night. Oh. Oh well. I will return to Mother, and I will be born again as I always have been, across all of these years. He raises his decaying tentacles up to the sky and says, "All right. You wanted this. You killed us all. Enjoy meeting Mother, Matarael." And he falls apart. And the scarlet moon above fills the entire sky from horizon to horizon in a way that shouldn't be possible, in a way that suggests almost a dome-like shape. But then you start to see cracks start to form in the skybox. Small at first, but rapidly spreading across. For from one of the cracks, a fluid starts to flow down. That same black tar that has always made up the Grim. It spills from the cracks in the moon, descending more and more. You can hear massive torrential splashes across the entire cityscape before there is a different sound. As the sky splits open, one more thing descends. At first, it's hard to make out an image almost, a shuddering, almost staticky image, before it starts to merge with the rest of the goo that flows down and takes on a different shape, an identifiable one. It's certainly like a dragon. Yeah, so Katie, you would be able to recognize it. I was just checking my notes. Katie, you are able to recognize what starts to descend and what touches down. Not nearly the size did you remember seeing it in that image shown to you by that first Grim, that first ancient Grim that shared you the memories?
Dave.
Yeah, Dave. The image that Dave showed you of a massive dragonic Grim the size of a continent being laid low by the hand of a god instead is smaller. Now probably only 2, maybe 300 feet long from the end of its nose to the tip of its tail, as it crashes down, crushing all sorts of buildings. It looks around, its eyes immediately locking onto 2 figures. The first is Matarael, the gospel sent to hunt it down and kill it. And the other is the enemy it has sworn war against. Its eyes lock onto Culty Cat, and Mother has descended. And that's how we're going to end the session.
Oh, snap.
The freaking dragon! All right.
Okay.
200 to 300.
So this is entirely a comedic thing. As soon as I said Mother has descended, I immediately got hit with a Discord notification from a completely different channel about a completely different game. I'm haunted.
We're like, mommy. Dang. Someone already simping?
Just
Beautiful.
looks
Completely
up,
unrelated.
one opens up one eye, just wood, goes back to sleep.
Beautiful. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, always feel free to hit that follow button. Go check out our various other content, including Vods of Valhalla and Tables of Taurus on YouTube. That's where we post almost all of our VODs. And tomorrow we're going to be playing some Monster Hunter Rise at about 7 p.m. PST. And then later on throughout the week, I'm probably going to be streaming a solo after I get off of work at about 1 o'clock in the morning. So if you guys are interested in watching that content as well, feel free to stay tuned. And we'll see all of you guys next time. And go check out our Discord for any relevant information or relevant pings as they come about. All right, have a good night, folks. Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Arrivederci.
Bye.